Hi and welcome to my PlayHouse. And today we're in the data center, not really because we need to, but because I wanted to use this new shelving for something, and I've kind of found that I have some workspace in here now. I have like a table, if I can manage to keep it clean. That's gonna be, we'll see about that. But today we're gonna be looking at a fiber optic microscope. Could turn it on, and how to use that with fiber optic cables. I have borrowed this from work. We just got this, well, probably a month ago. We have had a lot of problems with SFPs breaking and going bad, and no connection and low light, and yeah, whatever an SFP can do. Over a couple of years they have been teasing us so much that in a single day we could have 2-3 SFP problems and go down to the data center and replace SFPs, both on 10 gigabit and on 16 gigabit fiber channel storage that we use, and it has just been a mystery why these, and of course we have blamed the SFPs, and in some cases it is the SFPs, but this week we found that we had dirty cables. We were getting new cables that was dirty. When you buy a new fiber optic cable, you kind of think, oh, this is brand new from the factory, everything will be fine. So that's what we did. We were very careful not to touch anything when we put in the new cable, and thought that that would be dust free and clean from the factory to a perfect prestige. What we found with this little microscope was that 24 out of 25 cables failed, and not just a little bit, like 25 cables. Well, on a cable you have like 2 connections here, 2 connections here, so each cable has like 4 connections, so 25 cables, that's 100 connections really, and the test failed on 49 out of 100. That means that there was more than 1 error on each cable, almost 2 errors on each cable, which can probably explain why we have been battling so many errors on our fiber optic network. And this is not cheap. I was actually not the one to buy this one, but it's about 50,000 Danish kroners. Let's check it out. I have done reviews on fiber optic microscopes before. Those were the Exfo brand. This is another brand, and it's not sponsored this time. So it comes in a blue bag here. It's focus lighting, optical connection inspection system with blah 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 blah. Thank you very much. And there's room for your cleaning or other tools. There's a pocket here which we use for the charger and the USB cable. There's a leaflet, a couple of leaflets for explaining how this works. We have a box with different attachments which we are going to be using some of. Then down here is the microscope itself, and there is a thing to have it on your wrist like that, so you can don't drop it, kind of. So I'm not using that right now. The microscope is really here, but you put on an extension, and that's all air, so dust shouldn't go in there so easily. So let's get this ready to test some. Let's just test this one. This one has been in a bag, unprotected, so we are gonna find that that is very dirty, I'm guessing. AFL Focis from 2019, and it's a bit shy about the model number, so okay. So we need some attachments, not a lot. We actually just need this one, and then a converter, which more or less, well, you'll see. So we connect this. It goes on there. Ooh. More of these are available. You can see this is coded ULCM. Others are available, and we connect it to a fiber optic cable. We turn on the device and it'll be just a little bit. There, it's already on, and we put that in there, and we can already see that this cable is pretty dirty. It shows us a live picture. When I move it around, we can see that it does stuff. On the side of it there's a button, and this is set to do autofocus, and then it will test the cable, and this one has failed. So this cable would have to be cleaned. Take the other one. This one has just been in a bag. Compared to the new cables we saw this week, this is actually not that bad. So yeah, horrifying. So both of these did not survive the test, so we can clean them. And for that you use often you use a cleaning stick like this. If they're really dirty, I have also had luck starting out by just polishing it on a piece of cloth, like my if you have a shirt on or something, if it's not too dirty, because these are expensive, and if it's very dirty, well, removing some of the dirt in another way is better than clicking this 50 times. So, but in this case it's not very dirty, and so we can take off this plastic thing, and at that point this will actually fit in here and we can clean it that way. And both of them failed, so we'll just give it one click on each there, and we can test again. And we can get the live picture on there, and you can already see that it's way cleaner. So I'm not sure if this will fail. We'll just check it. I think it's actually good. Yeah, now it's approved. This white thing is the end of the cable. I don't know if we can zoom in on that. Those tips out there, that is what we are looking at in the microscope. It's a tiny area that we're looking at, and it's not really possible to see that with your eyes. So this is passed, so that's good. Let's check the other one. So one clean on each, and this cable, this end was okay. We can still see that there's some dirt out here on the side. So back in the day we were buying ISO screens at work, and each time we got a new screen there was a nice cleaning cloth here to wipe off the screen. So I'm gonna try that and try and clean the end of the fiber optic cable on that, see what results we get. There. See how clean or dirty it became. Yeah, it didn't become cleaner. That, well, yeah, we got some more mess on that. So that was, let's try that again. It's a bit irritating to have this in this roll here. See, we have some fine dust particles on there now. Otherwise that one is pretty good. Here we have some other fine dust particles. So maybe if I blow at it, more than the human compressor. Let's see if that did anything. Doubtful, but sometimes you're lucky. Yeah, that's where we are. That's where we are at. So we'll try and clean it with the stick again. And the stick is usually better. Still some particles on there. It's really hard to get these very clean, but I think this will pass, even if there is some tiny remember, only the middle here is where the light comes out. The rest of it is kind of a protection layer, so it doesn't really matter if there is something out there. It's just, well, yeah, it hurts my feelings. Let's check if this is good. I think it will pass. Yeah. And the other one, I think this is clean too. I'm gonna call that good enough. You can mess with this forever. And then every time you do anything, any simple little thing, you will mess it up. So we will we'll put some end caps on it this time, to not just, it's like these tiny plastic things. They're always on the cable when you get them. So I'll put that on without touching the end of the cable. There's a hole inside of them, so they will protect and no dirt will come in there. So that's the idea anyway. So now that one should be protected and clean when we come to it next time. The other end, we haven't done anything to that. So let's see how that looks. If we click this a couple of times, you can see now it's showing a live view. So when we stuff it in there, it's easy to see. We don't even have to test this. This cable is dirty, so no need to waste. Oh, this is kind of what we saw this week. Cables right out of the back, remove the protective caps, and you would have a cable like this. It was horrible. It did get approved. I wanted to show you what happens if you just ever so slightly touched the end of this. So yeah, probably a pretty normal finger. I'm just gonna well, the 5-second rule does not apply here, so we're just gonna tap it like that and test it. And that's what the cable looks like. When it has been touched. And now it will not be approved. Yeah, one single tiny little touch. And we can zoom in and see that the core of it is really dirty. So yeah, that's what we're dealing with. So those small pieces of dust that you see, it's not really that bad compared to just a single touch with an otherwise cleanish finger. So with a cable that dirty, I think we can clean it up a lot by just getting rid of that. Just have a look at it, see how much we got off of. Well, this was the before look, so let's check it again. Still some dust particles. Oh, that one is pretty bad. It's right in the middle, but we can handle that. So I wanted to try. I've washed my hands 2 times with soap. At this time in history, it's more normal to have hand sanitizer than not. So I wanted to try and clean my hands here and just use hand sanitizer and see if that does any difference when I touch the cables. So yeah, we're just experimenting here, so I'm just gonna let them dry. There is something in this hand sanitizer to not have your hands dry in, so it's probably gonna be visible, and they are a little sticky. So yeah, we're getting there. So let's clean this. Let's try and touch it again. That way. There. Let's see if that did any difference whatsoever. I don't think it will, but oh, it did actually. Not nearly as dirty this time. So washing my hands 2 times and using hand sanitizer still fails, but it looks a lot better. Yeah, failed. So, okay, we tested that. So clean hands is a plus, but it's not gonna help. This microscope is really cool. It's really quick. I hope you can see that. It doesn't take many seconds to test this, which is a big plus. And you get the screen right here. The other one that I tested, you had to use your phone, which is a cool feature that you had your phone. You could store the photos on your phone and upload them, and and do well, a lot of cool stuff, because the phone software can just be updated. This is a little bit more not as friendly in that regard, but it's really helpful to have the screen right here, and you don't have to mess with Bluetooth or connecting or anything. It kind of just works. So yeah, it still fails. This piece of cloth is not enough. It's good enough to get it somewhat clean, and then you need this cleaner to get it the rest of the way. There, so a little clean now. That was a no. You can kind of see how important this microscope is. I just clean it in 2 ways, and it's far from clean. Without the microscope, I would have no idea that this cable is still very, very dirty. And you can kind of see how fast you go through these clicks. I don't remember how many clicks there is, but there's 500 clicks in one of these. So and they can be as much as $20 for one of those. So that's also expensive. Oh, that was a really good result. That one, we're getting there. We could do one more there. Oh, we're running low on battery here. Oh, and we just moved that thing. That is unfortunate. I hope the camera shows this. It's a bit hard to see what you see, but well, before that thing was up here, now it's down there. Yeah, we got rid of it. It looks pretty cool now. And as you can probably tell, when you get a clean cable, try not to mess with it too much. Now we are recording video, so that's why we're messing with it. Otherwise I would clean it, and I wouldn't clean it again. So now we're gonna put on the protective caps here. I try to go in from the side so that I don't touch the end of it, and it looks like that I touch it. I did not. So cable clean. Let's try another one. See, these has been out of the bag. These are cables that I was connecting to a server, and found out that I think I used them. They were like 10 centimeters too short or something, so I had to replace them to so that they would fit, which was really irritating. Not bad. This is also pretty much what we often saw this week. That the core would be cleanish, but it would be really dirty on the outside, and it takes next to nothing for one of these pieces of dirt to move in there. This cable would probably also need a bit of cleaning, but that dirt down there is really hard to get with the stick here, but the cloth will take that. So I'm gonna try and clean this. That didn't take long. I'm gonna try and take the other side of it, just to show how long it actually takes to make sure that it's good. So in this case we'll just check it first. I don't have to. That's not gonna pass. So just clean it on the cloth. Check it in the microscope. It's still not good. I'm just gonna give it once more. See if I'm more lucky. I think I can do it now. Check it again. Pretty good. Pretty good. Then we'll test it. pass. Pass. So one good cable. That was of course only one side of it. Sometimes it will tease you, and there will be some piece of little dirt that will just move around, and well, that's really irritating. So what does this do? It does different cables, which we can see in here. Connectors, select. It does single LC/APC, single fiber standard, and then it does MPO. MPO 8, 12, 14, 16, 32, and some of them has different options. MPO is a cable with, well, this one would have 12 fiber optic cables inside of the cable, and that is what it's taking into account down here. So if you have a tester, it will know what to look for. We would just pick this one. I do not have an MPO cable here, which is pretty stupid of me. I should have had that. But you replace the attachment up here and you can connect MPO cables. It's you put on an attachment like this and you attach that, and then you are ready to look at MPO instead of LC. When I did a review on the XFO microscope, I also checked MPO, and this one does it differently. It kind of does it in one go, which is really time saving, that you don't have to mess with that too much. So yeah, it does MPO. At work we use LC and MPO, so that is the attachments that we have made sure to get with this device. Other attachments are, I believe, available, so I'm just gonna go back. So that's what it does. Bluetooth, you can connect it to something and transfer your pictures. Awesome, very nice, thank you. Right now we have it set to autofocus, so when I press the button out here, it will focus, and then it will analyze the photo and make sure that it's all good. That's a big help. It takes a little bit longer. If you are testing like hundreds of cables and it's the same cable, you can probably save a bit of time by setting it to manual focus, so that you skip the focus part every time you test a new cable. But yeah, we have it to auto. It's very weird that this thing is so expensive. I think it's just because it's not used very widely. For MPO cables you use another cleaner. This is one that we have from work. Looks very fancy. I believe we have another one. This is, oh okay, this is for MPO, this is for MPO 16. It should be the same connection, but it's not. What it is, it's actually a piece of cloth, just like the one that I'm wiping the cables on, but when you press it down, it scrubs through the head of the cable and it cleans it. So yeah, the same thing with this one. This one is just, it's a tiny piece of cloth. It's more like a string that passes over the head of the fiber optic cable, and of course we keep those clean as well. I don't think we use this 16 much, so that's probably why that is in plastic. I'm a cheap ass, so I went ahead and I bought one in China. Oh, so you choose to fall down. Okay, that's nice of you. And it was for my previous video, and it's much like these. It's just not as fancy, but you can kind of see what's going on here. I ordered it for the previous video where I was gonna clean MPO cables. I didn't know that we had one at work, so I bought this one, and when it came it was broken. So I complained and they sent me a new one, so that was very nice of them. Same kind of system. You clean the MPO cable, and it moves some cloth on the end. This wasn't too expensive, but they are kind of expensive. This one is transparent, so you can actually see how far you've gotten. Don't know if you can scroll back and reuse it. Probably not a good idea. You can kind of hear how cheap I am. I do not have any MPO cables at my little data center here. I have some LC. I don't have a reason to have some LC because the distances that I'm working with here in my local data center is not really long enough to justify real fiber optic cables. So rumor will have it that having dirty cables will damage your SFPs, and you will also have a bad connection in your fiber optic cable that can, well, cause resending stuff and just cause lower speeds. Damage the SFPs in a way that the light that is sent back can hurt the laser. I don't know how, but well, reflection and stuff, I'm not gonna speculate on that. But the fact is that we have been changing SFPs for the last couple of years. These are 10 gigabit SFPs. We have had some Hewlett-Packard 16 gigabits for our fiber channel, and they have been really bucky. Like, we have replaced 20 of those, and where these SFPs cost somewhere between $20 and $50, well, those SFPs for the fiber optic, those Hewlett-Packard ones, they're closer to $200 each, and we have been swapping those out on a daily basis. So that has been terrible. We hope that now that we have found that the cables are also a blotchy mess, that we can kind of reduce that now. We have been communicating with the cable supplier, and we're not going to be shopping at his place before his quality control is back on track. So yeah, it's really important to be able to see what's going on your fiber optic cables. I wanted this a year ago. I was looking at the Expo model, which I thought was really cool. My colleague found this one, and I must admit that this is easier to work with. It's faster and it's less of a hassle to use. So yeah, thank you very much for watching my videos. Do subscribe to my channel so that you can see me again, and have a really nice day. Bye bye.